born with it. If while other kids were frivolously blowing their allowance on Pokemon cards or video games, you were reinvesting it back into your lemonade stand, you might just be destined to be rich. Many of the world's richest people started their entrepreneurial endeavors at a young age, and were known to be keen about saving money, even when they weren't old enough to understand the value of what they were doing. If you weren't necessarily trying to hustle other kids' milk money with a new business idea every day on the playground, you still may have riches in your future, if you have a couple other traits. If you have always been competitive, whether it is athletically or intellectually, you might have what it takes to succeed in the business world. Also, if you have displayed a strong passion for invention or obsession with technology, like the young Bill Gateses of the world, you should keep these childhood dreams alive, and it might soon pay off.
Number 12.
Looking ahead. One of the main things that separates financially successful people with those that keep finding themselves struggling to keep up is that those who attain wealth are usually those who don't dwell in the past. Instead, successful people are able to keep thinking about their future, not letting their past mistakes or regrets cloud their minds. Dwelling on the past can be mentally draining, causing stress and depression, which can lead to putting off your goals. If you are a person who looks at mistakes as learning opportunities and attacks the future in order to ensure these mistakes don't happen again, you are on the right path towards success.
Number 11.
Knowing your strengths. Not only do financially successful individuals not allow themselves to be bogged down by their past failures, they're also keen at not focusing on their own personal limitations. Instead of being upset or frustrated by what they can't do, rich people focus on their strengths and use these to get ahead. Reminding yourself of what you can do is generally more productive than beating yourself up for what you can't. Successful people can use their strengths to position themselves to where when they have a problem that they can't personally solve, that they can outsource it to a person that can assist them. Being an expert at one thing tends to usually be more lucrative in business than being average at many things.
Number 10.
Open-minded. Knowing one's own limitations and accepting them can help a person to be more open-minded about themselves and others. Being open-minded is an especially good trait to have for an entrepreneur, as having tunnel vision or shutting out other people's ideas is only limiting your own business potential. Some of the world's richest people, like Elon Musk and Richard Branson, know that they can't find the solution to everything themselves, so they surround themselves with people that can make up for their own flaws, or that process information differently in order to make sure that an idea or venture is solid from the ground up. Some of the best ideas and advancements in the world came from groups of different people with varying attributes working together.
Number 9.
Wealth by association. As you probably have come to realize from this countdown, financially successful people tend to have a lot in common with each other. One of the best ways to get yourself on the track to riches is by surrounding yourself with those that are already successful and have the mindset of a successful person. Like it is in nature, it is true in business that people tend to adopt the habits of those they live and associate with. So gravitating towards people that are financially successful can help a person to pick up lifestyle traits that are necessary to becoming wealthy. Just getting on a schedule that keeps you productive is a huge step towards becoming rich, and picking the brains of others or mimicking their structure is one of the best ways to adopt a wealthy mindset.
Number 8.
Mental toughness. Another benefit of surrounding yourself with people that are more successful than you is access to their advice and learning from their mistakes. It is also important to associate with those that you know can critique your ideas from a position of knowledge and experience. One of the sure signs of whether or not you're going to become rich is how you take criticism. If you are a person who thinks that anyone who disagrees with you is wrong, you probably won't make it very far. If you are a person who takes criticism as a learning experience and an opportunity to try a different approach, you might have the adaptability that is required in order to achieve success in life.
Number 7.
Diversify. Someone in your life has probably passed on the idiom of not putting all your eggs in one basket, and this couldn't prove more true when it comes to success in business. Yes, it's true that many of the world's wealthiest people made their name from one venture, but in most cases, this wasn't the only proverbial plate they were spinning. Financially successful people know that only dedicating yourself to one source of income is incredibly precarious. At any moment, this income could disappear due to a number of unforeseen circumstances. So in order to ensure that they are always having some sort of money coming in, most successful people have many sources of income. Whether this is a main career that is fortified by investments, or multiple jobs and projects, rich people usually are trying to find more and more ways to make money. If you are a person who could live off one job, but still find other ways to make money on the side. This might one day pay off and enable you to find even more sources of income.
Number 6.
Go-getter. If you are always making lists, whether it is how to attack the next day or what you want to accomplish over the next decade, you might have the right mindset to achieve financial success. One of the biggest traits that rich people have in common is not being satisfied with the status quo. Instead of having just one goal, they have many. Upon crossing off one of their goals on their list, rich people don't rest on their laurels. They are already on to the next thing. Not only that, but rich people aren't just satisfied with achieving their goals, but achieving them better than anyone else has. If you are a person who not only keeps raising your own personal bar, but impatiently attacks these goals as if they are a nuisance, keep it up. You may soon find yourself with more money than you know what to do with.
Number 5.
Real worth. It might seem like the world's richest people had to be obsessed with making money in order to reach the heights they have, but most of the time, this is the opposite of true. Yes, most rich people understand the value of money better than the average person. But in most cases, the reason they are so ridiculously rich is not because they merely wanted wealth. Most of the time, wealth comes as a byproduct of a person's need to succeed in some other form, whether it is trying to change the world through invention, or just their need to be the best at everything they do. The world's richest are usually more focused on making a name for themselves in other ways than just having a fat wallet. If you want to change the world, are actively working to do so, and have bigger plans than just being rich, you might end up among the world's wealthiest, whether you intend to or not.
Number 4.
Urgency. If you wake up earlier than you have to and are always on the lookout for the next opportunity, even if your life is perfectly fine the way it is, you might be on your way to a rich and fabulous life. The world's richest people all have a sense of urgency that pushes them to go above and beyond when it comes to getting things done. Not only do they not procrastinate, but they overachieve, desiring to not only be great, but efficient and ahead of the game. When financially successful people make decisions, they do it confidently, knowing that time is of the essence. Years of hard work and pushing oneself to learn only help to cut down on the time it takes to make a decision. By asserting themselves and going into projects with a sense of urgency, even if there is no timetable, successful people allow themselves the time in the future to go back and make minor corrections, or to start over if their idea didn't work out. If you are constantly striving to get things done efficiently and overachieving, you have the makings of wealth.
Number 3.
Optimism. One of the reasons that financially successful people are able to go gung-ho about projects and are eager to jumpstart their days is their prevailing sense of optimism. Staying positive, no matter what the outcome of one's life, can be a hard thing to do, but in truth, it only helps when real adversity strikes. The ability to remain optimistic despite personal or business failings is the sign of a winner. Instead of focusing on the bad parts of an idea or what went wrong, the optimist is able to find the good and carry it with them onto the next project. All of the world's most successful entrepreneurs have faced significant setbacks at one point in their career, but it's what they learn from these setbacks and their perseverance to keep pressing onward that sets them apart and brought them future successes.
Number 2.
The simple life. Just because you finally earned that big paycheck and deserve to celebrate a little doesn't mean you should go blowing it all on a Bugatti. Those who have sustained financial success usually live lives below their own means. They budget everything and scrimp and save as if they are going to need every penny because they know that the economy is a fickle mistress. Spending money in excess might be fun in the moment, but it can be hard to readjust after coming down from a spending spree. No matter how rich you are, if you consistently spend more than you need to, or don't maintain a budget, you are destined for financial ruin. Many of the world's most successful people haven't changed much about their spending habits, even though their bank accounts have ballooned. Though they might afford themselves a few lavish luxuries, they understand not to go overboard. Moderation is a very important value to those that want to be rich. If you can't control your own vices and tame your desires for instant gratification, more money could end up meaning more problems. Instead of developing an expensive wine habit or burning money by doing unnecessary renovations on their houses, the world's millionaires and billionaires, who have exhibited sustained financial success, put any excess money back into themselves by either investing in their future with stocks and bonds or putting money back into their business endeavors. They can assure themselves long-lasting stability. If you are a person who can resist buying gadgets and gizmos you don't need, and instead put your extra money to good use, you could find yourself putting on the Ritz in no time.
Number 1.
Information fiend. If you devour any information you get, are always keeping up to date with the news, and love books, you are helping secure your path to wealth. One of the main things that some of the most successful people in the world have is the desire to stay in the know. Keeping up to date with current events and subscribing to several different sources of information is a good way to get an edge in business. This also saves time in the future. By knowing what new daily advancements are being made, you won't get caught being behind the times or risk having an idea that is already out there. The world's richest are also constantly trying to improve themselves by reading anything and everything they can get their hands on. Reading not only helps communication and brain function, but it can help to spark creativity. Being creative is one of the quickest ways to get ahead in the business world, and reading can help you to find links between two ideas that may have not been considered before. Reading biographies and books about history can help you to learn from another person's mistakes or successes, and learn how to apply the lessons the historical figure learned to your own life. Reading biographies and books about history can help you to learn from another person's mistakes or successes, and gives you the ability to apply the lessons the historical figure learned to your own life. So if you find yourself eschewing television or video games for the New York Times or a Steve Jobs biography, you might be closer to being rich than you think.